Hello, everyone. Welcome to this conversation between my beautiful guest, Katie Rydge from Australia, and myself. And we're going to talk about Vision Quest and the Vision Quest Protector training.
Mhm.
And I'm very happy that you're here, Katie, answering questions that I have
Yeah,
regarding your path and the training.
yeah.
Mm, so firstly, I would love to know. I know you did the Quest Protector training very early in your life.
Mm.
What was happening in your life and what
Mhm.
called you there and how many quests did you do before? Like what was the quest environment?
Yeah,
And then what called you to the training?
great question. So I think well, I was quite young, you're right. I mean, I think the first Vision Quest I ever did, I was about 21, 22 years old in Australia. And that was all self-guided. That was just self-initiated. I think my spiritual awakening had really taken hold at that point, and I just needed that type of earth initiation. So after that happened, I became very, very clear that I needed to go to America and learn about primitive survival skills and learn in the Stalking Wolf lineage. I was very, very clearly called to go to America. And after that quest, there was just a very, very strong energy that really was started to drive my life that was very soul led. So I ended up over there, and then I loved it so much, and I applied to be a caretaker at the Tom Brown Junior Tracker School. And so then I got in to be a caretaker, and I was doing a year of primitive living in the Pine Barrens as a caretaker. And I'd heard about the Quest Protector training. And by then, I'd done 4 Vision Quests. And they were all self-styled Vision Quests with no guidance, no
Oh,
protection. It was just me taking myself off for 4 days and 4 nights. Well, actually, the first one was longer than that, but and just, you know, doing what I could to enter into that ceremonial space. And I had to do a protected quest though in the lineage to get into Quest Protector training. And so my fifth Vision Quest was that. The one of the other caretakers had already done that training, and he ran a Vision Quest for me at the beginning of that year. And then that's what got me into it. So it just was one of these domino effects where once I did the first one, this energy started to build, and I just could not get enough of being in the quest space. There was something so profound that it opened up inside of me. And I just had to keep going back. But it was really interesting because then when I got into Quest Protector training and I started to learn in depth about the quest itself, it actually radically transformed my personal quest practice. And I didn't go into that training thinking that I would be a quest protector. Similar to you, I wasn't going into it thinking, oh, I'm doing this so that I can, run programs or quest protect for anyone. I was really doing it for my own personal needs around this phenomenal activation that I'd been feeling
mm.
and liberation that was starting to come into my life because of my quest experiences. Um, but obviously, yeah, the minute I left, it didn't take long. Someone walked up to me and said, "Hey, I've heard you can quest protect. Will you protect for me?" And that began a a very long journey now of quest protecting for people. It's over 20 years of actively quest protecting.
Wow, over
Mhm.
20 years. Wow, this is so long. Wow, wow, wow. I imagine a wave of energy moving through your life
Mhm.
constantly through quest protecting, like a really like this transformational energy.
Oh, yeah.
You said that the quest protector training radically transformed your quest practice. What do you mean by that? What happened?
Yeah, so well, the Power Quest happened. That was one thing. So I started to learn the 7 levels of quest, and I'd done some silence questing and also the power quest. So I brought that with me into the quest, and that was a radical acceleration of the type of um, movement that I could feel happening in my own internal landscape when I was in the quest itself. And the first vision quest that I did after quest protector training, I did 4 vision quests in a year, in that year that I lived primitively, and the final one was when I'd got home in Australia. So that quest was my second one of 4 in that year after quest protector training, and it just rocketed through. I mean, I actually haven't, I've maybe shared with 2 people in my life what actually happened in that vision quest, because it was so profound, and the sort of phenomena and spiritual movement that happened there. I felt like in a lot of ways I wasn't just given my life purpose, but I was gifted the power to achieve it. And yeah, so it was a profound, I mean, I think you used the words previously when we spoke, belonging, a profound sense of belonging to the path that I came here to live. And there was a obliteration of doubt around it, and a clarification a clarification around the role the physical mind plays in creating personal identity that traps many humans, and that also had me trapped at the surface of life. That was something that was extraordinary that came out of that training for me. And it allowed me to move my orientation point away from the mind and the surface of life where I'd been living, and deeper into my soul and union with silence. And that was a big transformation for me. Yeah, it began a multi-year journey of personal healing and liberation.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Mm. Thank
Mm.
you for sharing this.
Mm.
Yeah. That is that is an interesting interesting topic, also related to what the teachings of the lineage bring, I think. Because you have quested in like a self-designed way,
Yeah,
and without the being in that, I don't know how to say that, channel of the lineage, or
yeah.
and I also have experienced these different ways of questing and even quest guiding within this particular lineage, the stalking lineage, and outside of it. And um, I mean, yeah, outside of it. And do you have like, I didn't know that you had quested, your journey started before you connected with the stalking lineage. Can you say something about, without making one like better than the other? That's not, I mean, that's not what we're doing. But I found that there is a very particular frequency to the stalking lineage and the questing in it. Even when I quest myself,
Yeah.
am I standing in that channel or not? It makes a difference. And have you words for this, for the particularity of the stalking of lineage, the
Mm.
energy in vision questing?
Mm. Yeah, I mean, I agree, and I think in some ways, the what happened for me was that the actual lineage itself created a type of precision. I mean, both ways, it's like standing on the edge of a beautiful, beautiful crystal clear water lake. And both ways, one person without that precision and without the mastery of the technique, one person can dive into that pond and they're still going to get wet, there's no doubt, and experience the saturation of the movement of that. But it can often look a bit more like a belly flop, or a bomb or something like that. But with the lineage, what happened for me, I felt like I had the type of mastery that allowed me to take this beautiful swan dive where I could penetrate consciously much more deeply into the process that was unfolding previously for me. And so, whereas before I was experiencing the process, I was still getting wet, I was diving into the waters, but I had no conscious understanding. I couldn't work with it in the same way. I couldn't really extract the same type of gold that I was able to afterwards. And then once I started to work consciously with what was happening in the transformation, yeah, it just really accelerated how much personal growth, how much embodied wisdom, how much personal healing um, I could really experience every time I would quest. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah,
No,
really changed things for me.
yeah, thank you. Thank you. I think that is also relevant for um, the quest protector training, what you're saying. Um, and I really love the word precision
Mm,
because I think I don't know if I had that word for what I'm also experiencing, but the precision of the diving in, this is exactly what I'm observing and noticing through what I've learned in the Quest Protector training. Of course, we that's what we learn how to facilitate for the quester,
yeah,
not a belly flop, but a really precise diving in, and then they can really go deeper. They
that's it.
can go very, very deep.
Yeah.
Um, and and that's something I just want to name for those who are interested in the Quest Protector training. These these teachings are very practical, right? It's very practical. It's very, yeah, it's very precise how the preparation is guided so someone can really go enter a quest in the way that you just so beautifully described with this leg. Yeah, yeah,
And there's a real simplicity to it as well.
right.
I think a lot
Yeah.
of quest practices in different lineages um, have more cultural overlay. So the thing that I loved about the when I found the Stalking Wolf lineage, what I loved about it is that it had actually been stripped bare of cultural overlays. So I wasn't doing a Southern Lip and Apache vision quest. I wasn't doing a Lakota vision quest or a Linne Lenape vision quest. I was doing an Earth quest. I was doing a
Yeah.
human to Earth quest. And I could feel that. I could feel that there was this type of simplicity that actually represented universal law as opposed to cultural law, which is a different type, and there's no right or wrong in it. But as a white woman seeking real connection to my ancestry through the earth, I
Mm.
felt like the Stalking Wolf lineage gave me such a powerful doorway in where I could still be myself and I didn't need to prescribe to another culture
Yeah.
or co-opt another culture's ceremonies in order in order to actually reach into the type of mysterious power of the eternal world that is found in Quest. Because there is this very profound piece around Vision Quest where it transforms the seeker out of the modern day mind and the modern day mindset and all the limitations of the physical mind and the physical world. And it
Mm.
brings us into union with Source in a way that actually opens up our potential into something really quite radically different to that. And I was thirsty for that. I'd been at home in Australia. I had to go to a all girls high school and conform, and I did a business degree, and I was in the world. I didn't grow up in the forest
Mm.
environment in some sort of shamanic lineage. I mean, I was in the heart of the belly of the beast of modern society, and I woke up. I woke up spiritually, and this lineage answered the call in a way that was very profound for me personally. So I'm eternally grateful, really.
Mm.
Yeah, really very grateful for it.
Yeah. Yeah, I can really hear and feel how that was just really a door that you went through.
Mm, mm.
And then there was another life, different kind of life. Yeah,
Oh,
really different
yes.
kind of life. Yeah. And still, I really love how when I observe you and your work over the years, how you really are in service to like how you are in the world and you are in service to people who not just want to go out into the bush and then disappear, but to really marry these worlds, or how to really use these, utilize and come home to, not just utilize, but come home to these natural laws,
Yeah,
and how to live them and embody them when I wash the dishes and when I have my kids and my relationships and so on and so forth. So
absolutely.
thank you for that. And yeah, I can see how it really, how you needed to, and you were worked by this path and
Totally.
chose this path and were called by it.
Mm.
And I have another question talking about women, because some people say like, oh yeah, but this is such a hard 4 day 4 night fast, isn't it, for men? How is your take on that we do this as women? What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, I know that there's I've heard those sorts of things too. I mean, I can only really speak from my own embodied experience and also
Mm,
from I've facilitated multiple only women, 30 women at a time vision quests.
yes.
And I've also seen other women in America actually also run women through the quest. I've seen, thousands of women in the last however many decades go through
Mm,
the process. And I think that there's a lot of projection onto being close to the earth in the way that you are, and and fasting as being somehow masculine.
mm,
Um, and it's funny because in a lot of Indigenous cultures, women still would leave the community for ceremony and initiation and go into solo, some type of solo experience. It happened
mm,
here in Australia, Indigenous. My Indigenous adopted family, they used to traditionally do that too. They would take girls away and they would have solo time and
yeah.
they would be tended in different ways. So I think I think it's a bit of a misread to think that the type of process that it is gendered. That would
Yes.
be the misread. That
Mm,
there's a gendered aspect to it. Um,
yeah.
my experience is more that the thing that actually defines the rightness of the ceremony is the soul level calling, as opposed to the gender of the human who's being called.
Yeah.
And and so yeah, and that's the thing that I always prescribe to. And so I've seen countless women on a soul level be called and walk the path in an extraordinarily soft and feminine,
Mm,
nurturing way. And so there's this other projection, and we have a lot of expectations. We think, oh, well, there must be a fight. There must be this
mm,
sense of this masculinity required because you're fighting your way through these 4 days and 4 nights and battling something. But that's not true at all. That's just, I think, this very, I think, pop culture idea of man against the natural world that infuses a lot of how we see these sorts of wilderness rites of passage. The
yeah.
much more dominant truth and the more real energetic is surrender, and a very beautiful, gentle 4 day, 4 night surrender that flows like a river through your whole being and through your whole body and is extraordinarily heart opening, and it's drawn like it's just the sort of union and love that and support and belonging that human after human feels from touching life in this way through quest has nothing to do with the type of gendered masculinity that I think a lot of people judge
Mm,
from the
mm,
outside looking in. So my invitation would be, though, of course, with fasting, of course, we practice that before you go to the
mm,
quest. And of course, you practice anything that feels like you might need to fight to make it through. You practice that so that you're turning up resourced, ready for it to be more of a beautiful feminine surrender if that's what you need. And often it's just only aspects of our own self that exhibit the type of fight that we see in the outer world. Yeah, so there's a deeper wisdom there, I think. Yeah. So just
mm.
yeah, it's just not been my experience of it at all.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. I I just had like tears welling up
Yeah.
my had chills as you were really describing the love that's available there, the that's just how do you describe it as what I just experienced because I just came out of a 4 day quest like 1 week ago, a bit more than a week ago. And it was like that. Yes, there was like, yes, it is a process where I'm being worked and cooked and all the things. And at the same time, I also had the sentence, Rain said that once. She said, on quest, let go into the forces that love you.
Yeah.
There's just, it's like,
Love
I
that.
was really, really being with that and with this surrendering and with this really plugging myself into the moment to moment experience of life. Like, yeah, it's just, it's just, and I was thinking about it because I read that somewhere. It's like, oh no, this is not like, it's not a practice for women or whatever.
Mm.
Um, or it should be like changed accordingly. And I was really feeling into it and looking into it now, experiencing it again. And I was like, yeah. And the simplicity of it, I check in with my body, as you say, practice what needs to be practiced. I check in, is my body, are you happy to support me in that, as you say, soul level rightness calling with this body that I have?
Mm.
and and then it is just really, really great to fast from everything. It's
Oh,
just works.
yeah.
It's in the simplicity. And when I start thinking, oh, am I gonna have this, or am I gonna have this, I'm already out of it. So I have this like relationship and this conversation with my body that she's gonna, that she's gonna make it, and if not, she's gonna tell me what's going on, and it's gonna be part of the quest.
Yeah.
But I was really feeling it into that myself, and I felt, wow, that is not true for me. That this is not for my woman's body.
Mm.
Yeah, just wanted to hear your perspective on that. Thank you
Well,
for
and
sharing.
there's many lineages where, and this is what people may not understand, but in South America and places like that, there's actually many lineages where women are actually holding the quest. And so we also assume it's a masculine
Mm,
responsibility. So we have a lot
mm,
of gendered ideas around
yes.
these type of initiation rituals and
Yeah.
ceremonies. And a lot of my time in Northeast Arnhem Land with my adopted Aboriginal family there, women hold ceremony. And in Western culture, when we look at all of the different types of establishments that have been holding spiritual wisdom, mostly we see religious establishments, and women are banned from, like, a woman can't become the Pope, for example.
Yeah.
And so we have this, we don't realize we have these deep, deep, deep sort of assumptions
Yeah.
that there's a wrongness to a woman stepping into an initiation and
Mm,
power through the earth, and there's a rightness for a man to do it because he can bring that type of, and we don't really know. We're rediscovering in the modern day what it is for
yeah.
women to really hold
Mm,
power and earth initiated power structures.
mm,
And so this vision quest now, and the women that are holding it are helping the modern human to remember that, to remember the rightness of that. Um,
mm,
and so that's another piece that's probably worth mentioning, because I feel like sometimes we don't quite understand where those sorts of challenges are coming from around
mm,
women reclaiming the power of ceremony and initiation through nature.
mm.
And there's been a long history of women being reefed away from those powerful positions and replaced by the patriarchy in the male psyche. And these days, we're needing to rewrite that code, and it is happening. It is happening.
Yes.
So yeah, so the core piece is not what is right and wrong by an outside authority, but what is true for the internal seeker. And I
Yes.
always encourage everybody to just listen to your own heart, just like what you were saying, your own body's wisdom of what feels right, and the soul calling. And then, and
Mm.
then there's a perfect rightness to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mm.
Thank you. Yeah, I somehow felt that was relevant maybe for some people listening.
Mm.
Okay, shall we I mean I have more questions, but how's timing, Katie?
So we could probably do one more question and then,
Okay.
oh, yeah.
Um well, well, two. One is maybe a more small question. Did you actually ever stop while you were having children, small children? Did you ever stop questing or quest protecting?
I didn't stop quest protecting, but and the kids would just be there. Like I was quest protecting with Ella in my belly when she was 6 months, when I was 6 months pregnant, and then when she was out, when she was a little baby, a little 3-month-old or year-old baby, she'd always be at the Vision Quest. So no, so I have once I committed, I've consistently quest protected every year of my life, if not multiple times in a year. Um,
Yeah.
and and yes, with the actual personal vision quest, I did stop for a period of time because obviously my service was to my children. Yeah. And I
Yes.
think the first vision quest I did might have been when the kids were about 4 or 5. Um, I think that's when it felt like it was okay to go back out,
Mm.
and that they were okay with that, that they'd feel
Yeah.
safe for that to
Yeah.
happen. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm. And is there something you would like to share with everyone around your relationship to now training, being the trainer, being the one who's facilitating the training for vision quest protectors to become? Um, is there something you would like to share, like from your heart and from your vision for this all, like something around this piece that you're coming to Europe, if you can share something from your vision, from the vision that you hold regarding this quest protector training and quest protectors and maybe the global movement. Is there something you like to share
Hmm.
on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's every single earth-based ceremony is playing a critical role right now in helping humanity stay anchored.
Mm.
I really feel like the whole of the planet is going through, and all of the souls here, they're here at this point in time because there's a huge acceleration happening in terms of the type of spiritual experiences that we can have, the sort of transformations that we can have. So, and there's so many souls here on the planet right now. So I feel like that the globe, the whole of the collective needs humans standing in their power like quest protectors do and guiding others more than ever. And
Mm.
that the very essence of it is that it's not about me, it's about service beyond self. And that through being in a service role, power will run through me for the benefit of others. And there's something so powerful about that because that is absolutely the opposite of the Western economic, all about me, ego-driven and egocentric mindset of wealth and
Yeah.
using the earth and using other humans for power to accumulate at the top of the tree with all the billionaires, and there's a trillionaire in the world now, and all of these sorts of distorted ideas of where power really lives, which is outside of us in
Mm.
Western modern context. So more than ever, I think the calling to come, I mean, it's humbling, but that it does matter. It matters that we answer the call. It matters that one one extra heart can feel that and step up and act and guide others more than ever, more than ever. And I say the more lineages, the better. It's not one is better than the other. I mean, it's
Yeah.
it's like all of us together need to rise up and do more. I do believe we need to do more. Um, yeah, and therefore we provide stability. We really do midwife the collective in that way, and it's a very powerful thing to do. And yeah, I welcome anyone that feels called to explore the work to reach out and join us and be in touch. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Thank you for placing this in the bigger picture.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm. Mm.
Yes. That's what we do.
That's what we
Yes,
That's
yeah, and I
yeah,
just one more thing. When the more lineage, the better. Lineage, the better. Exactly, and it's this is now. Is, as we know, we have our unique frequency, our unique design, our uniqueness, and feel drawn and magnetized and called to different to particular things. And this is now with this frequency or this lineage coming to Europe, it's just a possibility for people who
yeah,
feel drawn to this.
yeah,
It's just, it's just like the invitation. It's just here now,
yeah, yeah.
and people who resonate will feel it. I know
Yeah,
that.
I think
Yeah.
so. I think so. And I don't really know the big picture of the why and the how, but my internal feeling is that there's going to be more stalking or vision quests happening in Europe and more humans being called to this path, and that there's going to be a flourishing of this type of vision quest. Um, and that's a beautiful thing. And it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
I really, yeah, can't wait because it blesses the land. And
Yes.
there's been a long, long history in Europe with a lot of war. There's a lot of tracks, there's a lot of energetic tracks there. Um, and this will help heal the land itself. So it feels very beautiful in that respect as well. Yeah.
Yes.
Mm.
Thank you for naming that. So true.
Mm.
So beautiful to observe when what quest actually does to the land and
Mm.
how it works. Yeah, so good.
Mm.
All right, I think we'll close here. Thank you so much for talking about all of these things, and see you very soon
Great.
here
Thank
in
you.
Europe.
Yeah.